Hey guys! Now then, before we get stuck into tonight's video, I have a really exciting announcement to make. Now when I first started doing YouTube, I only made one video a week, and I decided right at the very beginning I was going to upload that video every Friday evening at 6 p.m. so you guys would know when to tune in and you'd have the whole weekend to enjoy the video. Now my channel's grown a lot since then and I now make more than one video a week, but the Friday evening slot has always stayed very special and close to my heart, and I always try and save the best video I can for you to enjoy on a Friday evening. What I want to do now is announce a new channel partner. From now on I'm going to be working with H&H Classics. Now H&H Classics are Europe's oldest continuously trading auction house for classic cars and classic bikes. They're based in Cheshire and have both national and international clients. Now they do live online auctions, certainly been doing that for the last year, but we're about to start real face-to-face auctions again, and they do them in some incredible places like the Imperial War Museum at Duxford and the National Motorcycle Museum. So as well as sponsoring the Friday video, I'm also going to hopefully get along to some of the auctions and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to some of the incredible cars that they put through and go under the hammer. Now, we're going to change up the Friday evening video. We're going to change its name. From now on, it's going to be called the Friday Feature, powered by H&H Classics. And I've got a pretty special first episode of the Friday Feature for you as well. A very special Ferrari 488 Pista. Now, watch carefully because I've worked with a friend of mine called Mike from Western Bay Creative to make a really cool new intro and outro to the Friday Feature. And keep an eye out for the cars because it stars some incredible cars that have gone through the H&H auction house. There is a beautiful Sterling Moss Win Percy 1965 E-Type. And the Subaru Impreza rally car that you see doing some donuts is an original McRae Grist rally car that they sold not that long ago. Anyway, I think it's time for the main feature. So, sit back, get the popcorn out, and welcome to the Friday Feature, powered by H&H Classics. Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Welcome to Davidstow, a disused airfield and a Ferrari 488 Pista. So why am I in Cornwall with a beautiful blue Ferrari? Well, I'm actually here with Bradley, my mate, and SCC Private Members, because he started a new service that he's offering his membership where he'll basically make a bespoke film about their car for, I don't know, a garage glory roll or to show the family. And that can be pretty much as bespoke as you like. It can include tracking footage, drone footage, and be a really lovely professional film. And when Bradley was doing this particular shoot with the owner of this car, Will said, well, why don't you invite Pete along and he can drive the car and experience it and share it with his audience, and that's why I'm here today. So in this film, we're actually going to do a couple of things. Firstly, we're going to take a look around this incredible car, and I can't quite believe I'm going to be allowed to drive it, but also you'll get a nice view of a professional photo shoot. We're going to use all of the footage that we're using for Will's film in my film. So a massive thank you to Brad and the team for letting me do that. So I think the first thing we need to do is find out much more about this 488 Pista and actually the heritage of these special V8 super lightweight, super track, super sports inspired mid-engine supercars from Ferrari. The story of these lightweight, race-inspired, stripped-out V8 Ferraris started in 2003 with the 360 Challenge Stradale, effectively a road-going challenge race car. In 2007 we had the F430 Scuderia, and in 2013, for many people the best of the bunch, the 458 Speciale, the last naturally aspirated V8. In 2018, the 488 Pista was launched with a 3.9-litre twin-turbo V8, producing 710 horsepower at 8,000 RPM and 770 Newton meters. This will propel the Pista from 0 to 62 in 2.85 seconds, 0 to 124 miles an hour in 7.6 seconds, and on to a top speed of 211 miles an hour.
I can't quite believe I am behind the wheel of a Ferrari 488 Pista. Just to put this into context, a couple of years ago I had perhaps the most incredible 52 seconds of my life when I was a passenger in one of these up the Goodwood Festival of Speed hill climb. In fact, it was that dramatic. I think I best show you what I mean. Right then. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, wow! Woo-hoo-hoo! That was mind-blowing.
All right for you?
Oh, mate. Wow.
It's a surprise, isn't it?
Oh, well, what was interesting, when you went off the line, your wheels were spinning. And as soon as they got traction, it was like a punch in the back. And it's just so tight and darty on the front. Wow. So that was unbelievable, and probably the best demonstration of just what this car can do in the hands of a professional racing driver on a circuit where there are no speed limits. I am not a professional racing driver, and I am on the public highway, so I'm very limited to what I can do. But I just want to take you on the experience, if you like, and share that experience of driving such a car for the first time. First things first, I'm strapped into a 4-point racing harness, which always makes things special. And at the moment, I've got the Maranello switch just in sport mode. There is a mode below that for wet, but it's a lovely dry piece of road, and I've got about 7 miles of tarmac ahead of me. I've also put the car into manual change. You can leave it to change itself, but this gearbox is so sweet and so crisp. Why would you do that? I've only driven 2 Ferraris before. I drove a 458 on a supercar experience day a few years ago, and I've also driven the Ferrari Portofino, but this is next level gravy. This is, you know, those extra end of line V8s that Ferrari do. This is the latest and greatest one. I know it's been out a few years now, but it is very special. So what we need to do is basically just get straight to it. There is a 30-mile-an-hour village coming up, but as soon as that's finished, we're going to push on a little bit. So on the steering wheel, now all of the controls are on the steering wheel. My indicators are on the top where my thumbs are, my lights. I've got a bumpy road mode, which I'm not going to need to go into, and I've also got my wash wipe on the steering wheel. On the steering wheel is the famous little Maranello switch. You've got wet mode, I'm currently in sport, then you have race mode, and then the last two are CT off and ESC off. I'm not going to go anywhere near those today.
massive, massive thank you to the owner of this car for letting me share it with you today. It's so special, and I feel in such a privileged position when someone gives me the keys to such a beautifully specced and incredibly valuable car. But here we go, we're coming out of the 30 speed limit, so I'm going to go into race mode. Currently in 5th gear, I'm just going to knock it down a couple. You start to get a little bit of a flavour of that V8 sat behind me, and then the gear changes are savage. You get a real punch in the back as the car changes up gear. Oh my goodness me, this thing's naughty. It gathers pace like no car I've ever driven. Honestly, I am having a slight out-of-body experience right now. I don't think I've ever sat in a car with such a special cabin. There's Alcantara all over the dash, there's carbon fibre door liners, these seats are just immense. I am not going anywhere. I feel like I'm in a race car, and I think for me, the downshift is savage. And then on the power, it's a red line at 8,000 RPM, and when you pull the upshift, it's like a punch in your back. Oh my goodness me. I very rarely get lost for words in a car, but right now I'm lost for words. The thing I've found in the 2 Ferraris I've driven in the past is the steering feel is just incredible. You can just feel the racing heritage in them. But actually, without going into bumpy road mode, on this kind of B road, the ride quality is really good. It's of course firm. It's a supercar at the end of the day with an incredibly stiff chassis, but it deals with the lumps and the bumps really, really well. We just downshift a couple into 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then bury. What you can't get a sense of is the brutality of the car, the acceleration. You know, I'm only getting to just touch a little bit of this car today. It's not mine, it's worth a great deal of money, so I'm being super careful. Such a privileged position. I'm probably using a half, maybe 3/4 throttle, but the acceleration, it's the noise this thing makes. Let's just go down to 2nd again and just... When I got the invite to come today, I was very intimidated to get to drive one of these. A car I've seen from a distance, and you know, to own a Pista, to get to buy a Pista, many of you will know, but this isn't a car you could walk into a Ferrari dealership and say, I'd like a 488 Pista please. You had to qualify as a buyer, and what that normally meant was you were a regular Ferrari buyer. You probably needed 3 or 4 Ferraris in your car history. And to get a build slot, I know of people who had to put down large amounts of money. I know one particular guy had to put down £35,000 down and buy a Ferrari California just to get the build slot. These were super, super exclusive cars. Now this is quite amusing now. I've had my fun and I've caught the boys up, and I've actually got Bradley from SCC Private Members driving my JCW Clubman, and Will, the owner of this car, driving Bradley's Maserati. Quite a cool convoy. I think I'd win in a race. What a road, what a car, what a day. This thing, the faster it goes, the better it feels. The downshift, oh baby, it's amazing.
just gives you just so much confidence, this car. I have to say, Charlie Clubman's holding her own out front. Good on her. What a day. So yeah, I mean, my job gets me to drive some amazing cars, and every now and again you get in one that just totally takes your breath away. And you know, they say never meet your heroes. I remember watching an old Top Gear many years ago, and Jeremy Clarkson said that he didn't actually drive a Ferrari for many, many years when he became an automotive journalist, because as a kid all he wanted was a Ferrari, and he didn't want the dream spoilt. He didn't want that to get in it and find out they're not as great as he thought they were. And I never expected that to happen today. I always knew this car was going to be magical, but honestly, it's magical times a million. But it's one of those cars, I've experienced it in anger on a racetrack going up the hill at Festival of Speed. I know what it feels like from the passenger seat anyway, to have this car dancing underneath you. And I can only imagine what that must be like if you're the actual driver. I'm not so sure I've got enough talent for it, to be honest. Launch control in a 488 Pista. Oh yeah, baby. After a day spent filming and driving the car, we brought it down to the sea. What a beautiful backdrop to get some final stills and video. We might even stick a drone up because that is quite a stunning backdrop. And then once we finished here, we're off to Tintagel Castle where we're going to overnight, and I'll close the video there, I think. Well, what an end to an absolutely epic day, and perhaps the best backdrop of any end to any film I have ever made. We're here at Tintagel Castle where we finished the filming, and this car and that background, what else can I say? In terms of my final impressions of this car, it's difficult to convey just how special it is. From just sitting in it and feeling the engineering, I've followed it in my car quite a lot, and you can look at all of the details of the bodywork, the kicks and flicks, the aero. It's a spectacular car. I could spend hours looking around it. But to drive, arguably on the road, on the public road, it's too much car, and certainly I don't have enough talent to tap into all of its capability. This car is called a 488 Pista, and Pista is Italian for racetrack, and that's why it's called that, because you need to be on a racetrack to really tap into all the capability of the car. But I have to say a massive thank you to Will, the owner, for letting me drive his baby today, and also a big thank you to Bradley, who's just about to come into shot. Cheers, my friend, from SCC Private Members. It is April the 12th today. I don't know when this video will drop, but today is the first day in the UK that we're allowed to drink outside in a beer garden. And believe me, we're going to sink a few of these this evening, aren't we, my friend?
Maybe one or two. Yeah,
maybe one or two. I will put all the details of SCC Private Members as usual, and also the guys that have been doing the filming today. It really has been great
kind of being part of the project and watching it. And, you know, for you to offer that to your members, I think it's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And
it's come out well.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I'll also put a link, and depending on when it goes, I'll certainly put it up on the social, the video that we've created for Will today, if I'm allowed to do that. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Anyway, guys, a massive, massive thank you to everyone involved. I hope you've enjoyed that one. A very special day, a very special backdrop, a very special pint of beer. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petroped for plenty more content to come. Now, Will is driving this car home. We're not driving because we're staying here this evening. Should we go and find the bar, mate?
Yes.
Let's go. What a view.
That's good.